Good evening. I am full of it today. Like, you know, amidst the madness, I'm absolutely buzzing and happy and energised and inspired and motivated. I've had loads of time to myself to just get slaying and working and hitting goals because there's nothing else to do, can't go out. Could you share this for me, please? So I just remembered that I haven't shared it and I haven't got another device on me to share it. So let's see who we've got in before I start, because tonight's important. We're going to breathe a bit of positivity into the world and give you something really constructive and give you things to look forward to and give you things to be optimistic and energised about, because there's so much. Who's listening to me, first of all? Who's there? I can see some hearts. That's nice. Let me hear from you. Comment in the chat box. Let me know. Let me know this. First of all, where are you in the world? And are you on lockdown? Self-isolation? None of them? Just going about your normal day? Comment, tell me. Can I see your comments right now? Why can I not see comments? Oh, don't play up Facebook. Not today. There's too much else. I've got too much to tell you today. There's so much I want to share with you, and I want to be able to talk to you. I want to be able to communicate with you. So I need to see what's happening here. I need to see the comments. So keep them coming, because I've got another device here and I'm gonna log in and see the comments elsewhere. So okay, I can see them now. Yes, right. So Leah is in London town. Are you in isolation, self-isolation, nothing, going about your day as normal? Are you in lockdown like we are? So I'll start telling you that while you tell me what's going on in your world. We're on military lockdown in Spain, serious shiznay, which means, well, so I'm told, I haven't been out to test this theory, we can't leave, and if we do leave, we're stopped quite promptly by the police or the military. They've drafted in the military for support as well, to keep us in check, us rebels. I believe there's drones knocking around as well, so I'm told. I've not seen one myself. No lockdown in Scotland yet. Where's everybody else logging in from? Are you in lockdown or self-isolation or nothing at all? Let me know. It's really interesting to hear. So I stayed in today. I've been walking around the garden because nature's really important to me. Getting outside is really important to me. I think it's important for anybody's mindset, mental health. Okay, so Nick is in self-isolation. Oh, I hope he's okay. Drones aren't so bad. No, that's what I thought. If I do see one, I'll just give it a bit of a wave. So day one, we'll see how I get on in a few days, because for me, nothing's different, right? I work online, I run my business online, I'm normally in on a Monday working anyway. The only real difference is I've not been out walking the dogs, because I believe I'm not allowed. So there's not much different right now, but I do know that a lot of people are seriously affected, which is what prompted this video tonight. And I don't mean in a health sense. I know obviously there's a lot of people seriously affected with their health. My heart goes out to them. I hope you're keeping safe. I hope your family members are keeping safe. And big shout out to the people that are working in retail and healthcare at the moment. You guys are like in the Titanic, when it was going down and the choir was still singing, like the musicians were still going. You are like those people. So, big respect for you. What I'm here to talk about tonight is how, as a business, you can turn this into the biggest opportunity, respectfully, without exploiting people, and without, this isn't like meant to sound in an opportunistic way, but online businesses right now are booming, and there are certain people in certain industries right now that are inundated with work. And I don't just mean toilet roll companies and hand sanitizer companies. I mean in the online sense. There is, Paul was singing out the kitchen. Who else is on lockdown? UK lockdown from weekend, over 70s and people with health issues, yeah. So the opportunities in a business sense on the online platforms is huge. And I want to share some thoughts with you on this, because there's 3 reasons why the online businesses are booming, and also some things that you need to be considering right now to be part of that boom. It breaks my heart that good, hardworking people right now that are in jobs or maybe traditional businesses are worrying about the fact that they might not be able to pay their bills. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing tonight. So before anybody jumps on me and says, what about the people that are ill? I get it. I know. I have family members. I have people that I love too. And I worry about them. I lie awake at worrying about them. But one of the worries I don't have is about my income, my business, my financial security. And I want that for people, because I've had those worries previously and they are no fucking fun. I've been broke and it was shit. That's why I show up here and help people every week. And I was never gonna not do that when the shit is hitting the fan so badly for some people. I have just come off a group call with my clients in the Wealth Accelerator mentorship. And this is one of the reasons that I'm buzzing, because the ideas that were coming out of that group, the tweaks and changes to business models, structures, strategies, the optimism, that they are on fire. So I got off there on fire here, because I know this is possible for everybody. I know whether you're in a job right now, whether you're just starting out in business right now, whether you're in a traditional business and want to transition online right now, it is possible for every single one of you. And change happens in an instant. It changes with a decision, a powerful decision that I'm never going to feel like this again. It doesn't take years to create success online. It takes a plan and a strategy and somebody taking action to execute it. And that's what I want to talk about today. In the midst of a load of panic and a load of fear, I want to be a voice of reason when it comes to business and when it comes to economics and finances and money and the other things that people are worried about. So 3 things that I want you to consider, and then some things that you're going to need to go away and do about it if you're dead serious about making something really good come out of a really shit situation. And actually being able to look back and go, wow, do you know what? If it hadn't have been for the coronavirus, if it hadn't have been for that shit time and lockdown and all of that stuff, I wouldn't be where I am today, because it was that moment that I decided that I was going to move my economy online and mean that I never had to worry about this happening again. Because, and I don't mean this in a scaremonger way, but genuinely, like, it's not going to be the last thing that happens like this, is it, with overpopulation and globalisation? It's just not. It's not. So, number 1, the first thing I want to share with you is that one of the industries that is absolutely booming right now online is global private tutoring. And it's boomed, obviously, because it started out with the fact that children aren't in school. So because children aren't in school, a lot of teachers, a lot of educators, a lot of savvy, entrepreneur at heart educators and teachers have thought, do you know what I could do? I could start educating people online. I was chatting to a lady today who's in Asia, who is charging over $500 an hour for her online tutoring service, and not for children. The idea came because of children, but she's been a teacher for her whole life. She's off work and she thought, I've got loads of skills that I could put to use. And she started putting them to use a few weeks ago, because they're a little bit ahead of us, obviously, in this change. And she's set up a business and she's charging more per hour than she used to get paid for a week being a teacher in private education for children. She's teaching something different. She's not teaching children, but she's using her skills. So this is about thinking outside the box and saying, what skills do I have? So she saw an opportunity and thought, that idea was born from a gap in the market, and it was born from a change in society where people are now teaching. And she's now got literally what feels like overnight, within a couple of weeks, a platform and students wanting to learn from her, because people have got time on their hands right now, and smart people want to put that time to good use. They want to make it productive. They want something positive to come out of it. And that's just one example of someone that I've spoken to recently. I can't tell you the amount of messages and emails that I've had from people saying, I've got this skill, do you think I could take it online? I've got this talent, do you think I could take it online? I know quite a bit about this, maybe I could sell an online course. Let me tell you some of the industries, the economies online that are booming right now, and why, if you're one of them, then don't be preparing for winter. Do not be preparing for winter, because winter ain't coming for you. You need to be preparing for the boom. You need to be preparing yourself for more work and more success than you've ever had because of this. And these are the sorts of industries that I'm talking to. Coaches, trainers, consultants, healers, teachers, therapists, anybody that's in e-learning, developing courses, intellectual property, digital assets, anything like that online right now, that is where it's at, because coaches are needed right now more than ever. Someone with a positive energy, someone that can guide you and look after you, life coaches. There's so much fear going on in our society right now. So many people feel terrified of the unknown, the uncertainty. This is where therapists, coaches, people are needed the most. Business coaches. I've never been so busy in my entire life, because right now people are listening to me. You know, people want to know, how did you create that online? Why is it your income's not being affected and mine is in a traditional sense? How can I move my business online? Businesses that maybe right now feel vulnerable, CEOs that feel alone. Business can be lonely. So business coaches, consultants, anybody that's in the training industry that can that is going to or has already launched something. Yes, Sam, absolutely they will, because this is the thing that people want to invest in now more than ever. You know, Sam, tell me what business you're in. Tell me what you do. Let me give you an example. You might need to alter things slightly. You might have to come at it a different way. You might have to change your offer. You might have to change your structure, your strategy. It's exactly what we've been talking about on our group call today. Sometimes plot twists, sometimes plans change. That's what entrepreneurs do best though. They thrive in times like this. And I think the comments are a little bit delayed, guys, so bear with me if I don't answer you straight away. And I won't answer everybody because I don't want to get distracted, and I want to make sure I get all this out as much as possible. And also think about, like the spiritual world, and how many people right now are turning to their spirituality but also need reassurance, because when you're in fear, it removes you, doesn't it? When you're in fear, it takes you out. And product services, absolutely, as long as your distribution hasn't been affected. Obviously, if your distribution has been affected logistically, that is a little bit out of your control. Thinking lower level, high volume packages, exactly. Depends on your ideal client group, Sam. So if you've got an ideal client group that's income has been affected, then you're looking at different offers, exactly like you're describing, lower price points, looking at volume, making sure the offer is really specific for right now and something that your ideal client needs. So yeah, anybody that's an intuitive, healer, clairvoyant, medium, these sorts of businesses that are online that can be accessed. I was speaking to a lady today, she's a trainer in lash extensions. So she's in a studio showing people how to apply lash extensions. She's launched an online school. She's invested in a little bit of equipment, nothing too expensive, lights, camera, to show people online how to do it, and she's taking them through virtual classrooms to do something that just a few months ago she wouldn't have even thought of doing. Do you know what she said to me? She said, Michelle, this is brilliant because it's actually, I'm getting more bang for my buck out of my time, because like normally you've got students hanging around, there's chit chat, then they've got to have lunch and da-da-da-da. She's like, none of that is happening. I'm just in there online, da-da-da-da-da, bang, getting it done, productive, moving on to the next thing over and over again. Wedding planning. We've just launched our brand new online course, How to Plan Your Wedding. Yes! Nicola, I love you. These things, everybody can do this. This isn't available to just a select elite few. This is available to everybody. Everybody has something valuable that they can offer online. I have never met somebody that I haven't been able to help launch an online business. I'm not about to start now. I'm talking to you. Even if you don't get my support in helping you, I don't care about that. I just want you to do it. Please don't sit at home worried. Please don't sit at home scared that this is going to be winter. Winter's not coming. Number 2, health and wellness is booming at the moment. Absolutely booming. The market's huge because people are staying in and they want to stay healthy. So if you're somebody that's in a product-based business and it's health and well-being based and your distribution hasn't been affected, I'm a chiropractor. Amy, you know so much. If you're a chiropractor, you know so much. Think about all the valuable knowledge. This is an economy for knowledge. This is an economy for a skill set. This is an economy for teaching. Think about all the things you know that can help someone. Just ask yourself, Amy, what do I know that would be valuable to somebody else? Focus on contribution and the rest will fall into line. So many good ideas coming out in this course. Okay, so health and wellness is huge. If your distribution's been affected, what do you know? What do you know that can help somebody else? How can you turn it into a service? Because you've got skills, you've got knowledge. Distribution will only be affected for a short space of time. So these don't have to be long-term visions that are changing. These are short-term plans that might be changing, that's all. And get excited about it. Most entrepreneurs are driven by variety. We get bored easy anyway. So this is a new challenge and this is something to get your teeth into. Right, number 3, obviously the social media economy. I'm not even going to start going into why the social media economy is booming. Of course it is. Everyone's on their phone. Everybody's scrolling through Facebook. Everybody's scrolling through Instagram. People have got a lot more time on their hands if they're going to be on lockdown, like me. Or if they're self-isolating, they're indoors, they're online a lot more at all different times in the day. So where you used to have your hot hours and your low hours, all of that is about to change and everything's going to become a hot hour. So if you're somebody that's building an online brand and need to be visible in front of your audience, you've never had a bigger audience that's around more and available more to listen to you than you have right now. So that's really, really exciting. Now, what do you need to do? So there's 3 things that you need to do. These are my 3 tips to make the most from a financial perspective out of what's happening in the crazy world. So number 1, you need to avoid at all costs. This is for you because you're the CEO. You're going to be the change. Let me tell you, the amount of businesses that are created in adversity, the amount of millionaires that are created in recessions, the amount of huge, iconic, legendary CEOs and businesses that are created in times where other people are crumbling and they're plotting. Like, this is where it's at, and this is you, this is who you are. Don't forget who you are. You need to avoid at all costs anything that puts you into fear. Because when you're in fear, you're not thinking like the best version of you. You're not thinking like the CEO that you can be. You're thinking from a low vibrational space. You're thinking from a scarcity space. You're coming from that place of preparing for winter. So I've got to make myself small and do as little as possible and commit to as little as possible. That's not where you need to be thinking from. You know, when you think about recessions, it's when the entrepreneurs are buying up all the property. And that's just an example. You might be thinking, I haven't got money to be buying up all the property. I'm not saying that. I'm saying they're thinking from a different space. It's because they're not coming at it from fear. So do not engage in things that are going to make you feel fearful. It's so easy to go down the rabbit hole. I went down the rabbit hole the other day. I did. I was in it. I clicked some links. I was online. I clicked another link and it took me to these different groups and suddenly I was in the middle of a conspiracy theory and we were all going to die. It's ridiculous. I had to give myself a bit of check up from the neck up, step away from the computer, and I haven't scrolled since. I'm not interested what anybody's got to say about the virus. Yes, I'm cautious. I'm safe. I'm making sure my family members are safe and I'm not going to be running around licking people anytime soon. But that's all I need to know. I don't need to know anything else. I don't need to know about how much of a prick the Prime Minister is in England or how much this has happened and who disagrees with that, this and the other. And none of the rest is important. All I need to know, all you need to know is what's important. And that is that you can create opportunities in times like this, but you need to not look at it. Have a healthy curiosity for how to stay healthy. But please, please, please don't go down the rabbit hole. Stay out of fear, stay in high vibration. The world needs you. It needs the leaders like you. Don't forget what you think about, you bring about. It's like people have forgotten that they create the reality. They've forgotten that we become on a cellular level how we feel. That's the truth. You know, it starts with thought. It starts with how we feel. Everything does. So we need to focus on health, we need to focus on abundance, and we need to focus on opportunity because that's exactly what's available to us. But you just think, you get more of what you think about. The second thing that you absolutely have to do is if you're moving your business online or you're going to be tweaking your offer or you're thinking about launching an online business or you're thinking about that idea that you've thought about for ages, just fucking do it. It has never been a better time than ever. While you're waiting and thinking about it, somebody else is doing it right now. Somebody else isn't binge watching Netflix while they're on lockdown. Somebody else is using that time to develop millions. That's the truth. I'm on lockdown. It's 20 past 9 here in Spain. I started at 7 a.m. today, and I'll probably finish about 10 tonight. I'm not saying, look at me, look how hard I work. I don't always work that hard, but the fact of the matter is I can't go anywhere, I can't do anything, can't see family, can't make memories, can't travel. So fuck it, I'll build a business to the next level. What are you going to do with your time? Because you're going to look back on this and you're not going to remember what television programme you were watching. Guarantee. You're not going to remember how much you scrolled through Facebook looking at conspiracy theories. But what you're going to remember is what you did with this time, if it totally transformed your life. And it can. And it will. There is so much good stuff that's going to come out of this. If it wasn't for the poor people that are getting hurt and the poor people that are losing their lives and loved ones, then this would only be a good thing, because people are changing the way they think. They're really changing the way they think. I was talking to a nurse the other day, and she said to me, she said, Michelle, she's been coached by me for a while now. She said, Michelle, I've managed to change things. Only a little bit, but I've managed to change things in the hospice that I worked at. Because rather than going into work and having meetings, they have finally committed to us having webinars. And that's because of what I've learned about the online space. So now we haven't all got to drive in to have these long meetings. Now we just log in and then we go and see the next patient. Do you know, if that takes off in our NHS in the UK, that could in itself mean that we have more capacity to help people going forward. So when the next virus hits or the next disaster hits, our NHS is better equipped to deal with it, because we're just not efficient with our time. Change starts here, and you're at the front of it, because if you're logging in today, then chances are good that you've already thought about an online business, you're already building an online business, or you're in business ready to transition online. You're at the forefront of it. Don't forget, you're in the top maybe 3-5%. Most people are walking about thinking about how their life's going to change because they can't go to work, or how their life's going to change because their business has shut the doors. And they don't know about the things that you know about. They're not here listening to stuff like this or logged into courses, programs. Or you have the biggest opportunity in your hands to do something with this. Don't waste it. Don't let this be in vain. So do it. That's number 2. Number 3 is, please come from a place of contribution on it. And I know I'm talking to good people tonight, so I don't need to bang on about this too much. But, you know, if you're just asking, how can I serve right now? And this is something we should always be asking. This is something that, virus or no virus, as business owners, true entrepreneurship is about that. Do you know, the fuckers that are buying hand sanitizer off the shelves for 50p and then whacking it on eBay for 50 quid and calling themselves an entrepreneur ought to be ashamed of themselves. And I'm not one to child shame here, so please don't take it that way, but I saw an article the other day about some kid that was giving away hand sanitizer 50p a squirt in the playground or whatever, and everyone was going, oh, he's just an entrepreneur, he's an entrepreneur. And look, there is a fine line between entrepreneurship and just exploitation and being out for yourself. And the latter isn't cool, the latter isn't nice, it doesn't look good on anybody. You think of the real business owners of our time. Think about Richard Branson and how much he's contributed. I was reading his autobiography recently. It was one of the last books that I read. And so it's fresh in my mind, which is why I've plucked him out. Back to when we were at war and he was flying out to Iraq and Iran and places like that were really quite dangerous to be in at the time. And he was flying, not just sending his planes and footing the bill, which is a lot of money, by the way. He was on the plane, collecting hostages and bringing them back. Now, I'm not saying that you've got to give things away for free to make a difference. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you don't deserve to be paid for helping people because there's a crisis. I'm not saying that either. You deserve to be paid more than ever if you're going to stand up and do your bit and think, how can I serve rather than exploit? But there's a difference. Now, no one on this call should feel icky about changing direction and doing something new at a time like now, or tweaking a business model or strategy or an ideal client or an offer to match what's going on. There's nothing wrong with that as long as it comes from the right place. If you're thinking, how can I feel really good about me when my head hits the pillow tonight, knowing that I've helped people, I've earned an honest living, and I've secured my future financially. If you're doing all of those things, then that's not a bad thing. But come from here. If you're somebody that's already in business, just ask yourself, for example, if your ideal client needs to, if you need to change what you're offering your ideal client because of the circumstances at the moment, step into their shoes. Don't think, what can I make some money out of? Step into their shoes. Like, we were just doing this on our call in the Wealth Accelerator earlier, and we were talking about different things, and like, I'm just going to give you a couple of examples of what come out of that call and a few conversations I've had with clients over the last couple of days. So one lady is a trained mindset coach and an NLP, and her ideal client is somebody that's, you know, already very self-developed and aware. Now, what she's saying is, do you know what? Right now, they're in fear, and right now, what they need more than ever is for me to put something that's really short and sharp that helps them get out of fear and out of that place of scarcity and fight or flight. They've never offered that before. That's never been something that they've offered, but they've adapted and gone, right now, that's what's needed. Another lady who's running a travel business, who's a one-to-one client, and she's looking right now at travel holidays for people that have had to change their plans this year and are having a really bad experience with certain companies and it not being a smooth process to change. She's putting special packages together for disappointed people that are travelling to certain places ready for next year. And alongside that, she's putting guides together, PDFs and videos that can be sold, that give you really valuable information about certain parts of the world that you may be stuck right now, or that you may be in lockdown in right now, like things that you need to know, because she's a travel expert. She knows, she's been to a lot of these places, and that's relevant, and it's helping people, and nobody else is doing it. I've spoke to a teacher today who I mentioned to you before, who's launched an online school. The list goes on and on and on and on. Of a relationship coach, this blew my mind. Did you know that nearly 50% of people in China that were locked down ended up in relationship turmoil and close to divorce? Relationships are breaking up because people are living in close proximity and can't leave. This relationship coach that I work alongside, one of our clients in Wealth Accelerator, she has been researching this, like what has been the effect on relationships, because that's her zone of genius. And she's now tweaking her offer and what she does to support people that are locked down or in isolation in close proximity that aren't used to that. She's giving them coping strategies so that relationships don't get ruined. She's using the research and the evidence that's come out of Asia to do it. She's adapting, she's changing, she's tweaking and thriving because of it, and anybody can do that, but it's coming from the right place. It's saying, what are people's problems right now? How can I help them solve them? And that's what everybody can do online. I hope I've inspired you to get up and do something if you weren't already, or at least do it with more of a spring in your step and more belief in your heart that this can be one of the best things that have ever happened to your personal economy and your business, regardless of what's going on out there. If you're somebody that didn't used to watch the news all the time, read newspapers, or look to some PM or president to tell you how you should be living your life, now's not a good time to start doing that either.